black shadow inside the house. My name is Daniel. My wife's name is Sophie. A few months ago, we moved into a new house, a place far larger than we had ever imagined owning. It was massive, with high ceilings that seemed to swallow sound, and hallways that stretched just a little too far into shadow. It wasn't just me and Sophie. My mother, Margaret, came to live with us too. The three of us, in such a huge space, felt strangely small, almost as if the house itself was watching us, quietly measuring every step we took. For a home this size, the rent was suspiciously low, almost too low. But we didn't ask questions. Sometimes a bargain is just a bargain, right? Or at least, that's what we wanted to believe. I had a job back then. Sometimes I'd be away for work, other times for errands or personal reasons. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. But then, strange things began to happen. Whenever I was away, whether at the office or out in the city, something inside the house would unsettle my wife, Sophie, and my mother, Margaret. While they were eating, talking, or simply doing chores, they would suddenly see me. Yes, me, the person they knew for certain was not at home, walking casually from one room to another. They could hear my footsteps, the faint creak of the wooden floor, even catch a whiff of my scent as I passed. At first, they would freeze in shock. Spoons suspended in midair, conversations cut short. Then they'd look outside the window and notice my motorbike wasn't in the driveway. A quick phone call would confirm I was still far away, either at work or in traffic. And yet, in that very moment, my shadow, my shape, would drift through the corridor, moving slowly, deliberately, as if another version of me was trapped inside the house, watching them. But strangely, I never saw anything myself. Whenever I was at home, everything seemed perfectly normal. Yet, for my mother and Sophie, the incidents were becoming more disturbing. When I was away, they no longer just saw me walking through the house. Now, they would sometimes see a black shadow. It moved like a person, but it left no footprints on the floor, as if it wasn't part of this world at all, just a fragment of darkness wandering wherever it pleased. One afternoon, Sophie and I went out together. Later, Sophie returned home alone. As she stepped through the gate and into the yard, she heard my mother's voice. "You're back." My mother was standing at the front door, her hand resting on it, but she didn't close it. Sophie stepped inside, puzzled. "Mom, why aren't you closing the door?" she asked. My mother just stood there, pale, her eyes fixed on Sophie. Then, in a trembling voice, she said, "When you walked in, I saw, in the looking glass behind you, Daniel standing right there." Sophie's heart skipped a beat. She knew for a fact that I wasn't with her. I was still outside, far from the house. But if my mother wasn't mistaken, then who, or what, had she seen standing behind her? In the end, we decided we couldn't let this go on any longer. Sophie and I called in a priest, someone known for dealing with strange and unholy disturbances. When he arrived, he carried a small brass bell in one hand, a silver cross hanging from his neck, and a leather pouch tied at his waist. Inside were bundles of fragrant herbs, a vial of holy water, a few ancient books, and talismans that looked older than the house itself. He walked through each room slowly, muttering prayers under his breath. Sometimes he stopped, listening as if to a faint whisper no one else could hear. Sometimes his gaze fixed sharply on a corner or a window, as if something moved there. Once, he knelt down, placing his palm flat on the floor, closing his eyes, and let out a long, heavy sigh. After circling the entire house, he returned to the living room and looked at us in silence. His voice, when it came, was low and steady. "There is something evil in this house." We froze. He continued, "It has taken a liking to your wife. That's why it takes your form, walking around her as though it were you. When you're away, it gets closer to her." A chill went through me. The priest went on, "This entity is bound to the house itself. These walls, this floor, every corner is part of its domain. If you leave this place, it will have no hold over you." I asked cautiously, "Can't we perform some ritual or prayer to banish it?" He shook his head slowly. "It's possible, but if you try to drive it out while still inside this house, it could respond in ways you won't be able to control. As long as you stay here, the danger remains. I can't tell you when or how, but it will happen." The weight in his tone was enough to make the air feel heavier. And in that moment, somewhere deep in the house, we heard it. A slow, whispering laugh, faint, but far too close. We made our decision. We wouldn't stay in that house another day. Over the next few days, I packed up our belongings, sealing box after box, moving them into the truck. Sophie stayed close to my mother, never leaving her side. None of us said it out loud, but we could all feel it. Something in the house was watching. Finally, on the last day, everything was ready. I stepped outside with the final box, the air heavy and still, as if the house itself knew we were leaving. Before getting into the truck, I turned to take one last look at the place that had been our home and froze. There, on the balcony, stood a tall, black shadow. It had my shape, my height, my stance, yet it wasn't me. It didn't move. It didn't wave. It just stood there watching. A shiver crawled up my spine. I quickly looked away, climbed into the truck, and drove off without saying a word. We moved into our new home a few hours later. From that day onward, the footsteps, the shadows, the whispers, all of it stopped. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder if that thing is still standing there in the old house, waiting for someone else to move in. Did you enjoy the story? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Horror Dream. Want more stories like this? Subscribe to The Horror Dream, and we'll bring you more darkness just for you. If you enjoy a little chill down your spine, stick around. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button right here on The Horror Dream. Your support keeps us going, so stay with us. Subscribe to The Horror Dream for more spine-tingling tales.